Hello friends, this is lesson number 44 in this series of British literature in English. As we started Edmund Spenser in the previous video, and today we shall discuss his first major work, and that is Shepherd's Calendar. This work is based on Virgil's Eclogue. Now, who is Virgil? In Roman history, we have a poet and the name is Virgil. In the 1st century BC or around, he wrote a work, the name is the Eclogues. It is also called as bucolic, and in the same structure, this work is written by Edmund Spenser. Shepherd's Calendar, as the name suggests, it belongs to the pastoral poetry, means the description that we get in this poem, that is of a rural life, of the pastoral rustic life of the shepherd. And second, in this work we have the form is of dialogue and soliloquy. Dialogue we know, but what is soliloquy? Soliloquy is something as a device that is used by the dramatist, especially in plays and drama, that when a speaker or when an artist on the stage, actor on the stage, he speaks about what is going in his mind, so that the audience would come to know, but none of the other characters should come to know what is going in his mind. So that is a soliloquy. So in this work we see the combination of dialogues and soliloquy. So there is no narrative technique in this poem. As I mentioned that this work belongs to the pastoral life. So we are going to see in this work the shepherd and his love for nature and also for his beloved. So in the center we have one character, and that is Colin Cloud. He is a folk character, and about him we have a point from the literature, that is who has created this character. John Skelton. He is also a 16th century poet, and he wrote a work and the name is Colin Cloud. From there we get this character Colin Cloud. So there can be a question that from where Edmund Spenser get this character Colin Cloud. And he used archaic spellings throughout this work. Even in the previous video I told you that he knowingly used the words or the spellings of old English, old-fashioned English. So in this work, like the spellings of shepherd, the calendar, the words are in old-fashioned English, archaic. The word is used archaic type of English. And even his name Edmund, you would find that he used to write somewhere his name like Edmunde. So extra E is using E. So even in his own name Edmund, he used to spell it in the old fashion. And more about this poem we have, we will not discuss the deep summary of this poem, no. We shall just consider the literary aspect of this poem and somewhat outline about the story. In this poem there are 12 eclogues, and each eclogue is named after each month of the year. And the shepherd, as I mentioned, Colin Cloud, he is modeled on Sir Geoffrey Chaucer. So we can say that shepherd Colin Cloud is representing Sir Geoffrey Chaucer. And this poem is dedicated to Philip Sidney. And there is one more character, the name is Eliza. She represents the Queen Elizabeth. Now about the themes used in this poem. The first important theme is of the abuse of the church. So there is lots of corruption in the church. So the same is thing targeted by the Edmund Spenser. And then there is also the theme of Colin Cloud's love, his unrequited love or his unsuccessful love for Rosalind. And then he also praises the Queen Elizabeth throughout the poem, and encomia or praise we can also call for the rustic life, for the rural life of the shepherd. So different issues is being touched by the poet in this poem. One more literary point, that in this poem we see the first time the use of the word sarcasm. Sarcasm, this term is first time used in this poem. Sarcasm means when we are mocking at someone deliberately with irony. So sarcastic remark, sometimes it is also used as this way. So sarcasm first time used in Shepherd's Calendar. In this poem we have 12 months, 12 eclogues, and one more thing we can correlate with Virgil's eclogue. In Virgil's eclogue there are 10 eclogues. In this we have 12 eclogues or 12 different poems, short poems, and each poem is separate from the others. So one can easily enjoy any of the poem from these 12 poems. And their names are also rhyming to the name of the months. Like for the month of April there is a name like Lay. For the month of May we have the similar sort of name May. And each poem is representing the characteristics of the months as well, not just the name but also the characteristics of the month. And these poems, these 12 poems, can be categorized in three categories, like moral, plaintive, or recreative. Moral, plaintive, or recreative. And in this poem, Colin Clout has a double character. He is also a lover and also a poet. There are a few of the important points regarding the plot of the poem. So just I mentioned these points because these were the things which were asked previously in the examination, UGC NET exam. So the first is like January month, the month of January, that tells us about the unhappy love of Colin Clout for Rosalind. And in the month of spring, which is the month of spring, we have April. In that there are the songs of praise for Queen Elizabeth. In the month of May we have rival shepherds. So you can just now correlate with the rival shepherds in a sense. They are the shepherds representing the Protestants, the people of Reformation, who were the leaders. So that time, during the period when Queen Elizabeth was ruling, there was a collision between the Catholics and the Protestants. So here we have shepherd, he is addressing to the rival shepherds. And there is also in the end a sermon with the animal fable. Okay, that is not so important, but try to remember that this poem represents the whole life, human life, and through the 4 seasons of the year. In the year we have 4 seasons. So through these 4 seasons, the human life is depicted. So far as the previous year questions are concerned, one question was there that Queen Elizabeth is being praised by the poet in which month? That is April. And Colin Clout's love for Rosalind is being expressed in the month of January, and rival shepherds appear in the month of May. And one last question was there that Colin Clout himself appears in which of these months? So we have 2 months, June and December. So that's it for this lesson, Shepherd's Calendar, poem by Edmund Spenser. So we have considered important points, especially the literary points. So we have not tried to go to the deep summary of this poem. One day, if possible, I shall try to make a proper video on that as well. But for now, we just have a quick recap of the main points what we have discussed, and it will give you a proper revision as well. So Shepherd's Calendar, published in the year 1579, and it is the first major work by Edmund Spenser, and it is based on, structurally it is based on Virgil's eclogue. They are also called as bucolics. And in this poem we see the form of dialogues and soliloquy, and it is a poem depicting the pastoral life of shepherd. The name of the shepherd is Colin Clout, and this character comes from the poetry of John Skelton. He is also 16th century poet. And then in this poem shepherd is representing Sir Geoffrey Chaucer, and this poem is dedicated to Sir Philip Sidney. And in this poem we have 12 eclogues. Remember, in Virgil's eclogue we have 10, and here in this poem 12 eclogues, and each eclogue is representing each month of the year. And this whole poem as a whole, this poem represents human life. So the 4 seasons of the year represents the human life, and there is one character, Eliza, who represents the Queen Elizabeth. And apart from this, there are several themes related to the corruption in church, abuses of the church, misuse of the power, and then the Colin's unhappy love for Rosalind, and there is a praise for the Queen Elizabeth, and also encomia. You can also call it as a praise. Encomia means praise for shepherds, rustic and rural life. So the poet is praising the rustic rural life, the country life. He is admiring. And one more important point, sarcasm is first time used in this poem, and the months have their name rhyming to the each of the poem. Then these poems can be classified in 3 categories. The moral poems, we know that the poems give moral lessons. Plaintive poems. Plaintive poems are the poems which represents the mournful themes on sadistic issues where we are expressing our deep sorrows. So that sort of poems. And recreative poems means the poems which are there to entertain us, to energize us. So these sort of poems are there. So 3 categories, and then the 3 or 4 questions which we discussed about the characters, the poet is praising Elizabeth in the month of April, and Colin Clout appears in the month of June and December, and Colin Clout's love for Rosalind is expressed in the month of January. And rival shepherds, they appear in the month of May. Month in a sense, the poem which is about month May, in that poem we have the appearance of the rival shepherds. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you must have enjoyed this lesson. In the next lesson we shall try to go through Fairy Queen. So thanks a lot for watching this lesson. Have a great day.